Hello everyone, and thanks for coming back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a VTX. That's kind of unusual for this channel at least. But this VTX is a little bit special. This is a VTX200. This TX200 came from Full Speed RC. Our friends that made the Grasshopper, they made the Eaglet, they made the Leader 120, they made the Bat 100. And I think they have one or two more coming. Oh, the Leader 130. And there's one other one that I think they haven't released yet. Anyways, so they're very active in the FPV and the micro community. And one of the comments I hear continually from people when they talk about the VTX is when it's 25 milliwatt. And as we see more and more of these run cam micros wanting to squeeze those between those small gaps that we have in our all-in-one CMOS cameras, some of you, I would hope, those that have been leaving those comments about 25 milliwatts, would want a product like that, and that's why I'm creating this video. We're going to be real quick, real in and out. So it's pretty basic, pretty simple. I'm sure you've probably seen this stuff before. So you mount this into the holes that you've got here. You plug this right into your micro run cam, and then this goes to your power source, which is probably your flight controller. So let's take a look at a few of the specs. A couple of things that I've already read about. We have our mounting kit over here. You can see we've got plenty of spacers. We've got some good long screws in case we need to double up on those spacers. It does come with an instruction sheet. And something else that I appreciate is that it came in a nice little plastic case here. And it came with foam, so it's well protected even if it gets shipped in a baggie. And you can see right there, it's power switchable. So you can do 25 milliwatt if that's what's legal in your country. Or you can do 200 milliwatt to get that extra penetration and range. If we go back to our table, this all is fairly basic, and you see that it takes 6 to 17 volts. I think that's a little bit off. I think it needs to take 5 to 17 volts. So we're going to have to go to probably our battery lead, or we're going to have to find 12 volts off of our flight controllers, which a lot of micro flight controllers don't have 12 volts. They just have 5 volts. But we should be able to get battery voltage. And unless you're running, boy, if you've got a micro that runs like 5S, this wouldn't necessarily be for something running 5S, okay? So let's just put that aside. The button is very slim. I'll cover the button in a minute. Let's go over this. We already covered the voltage here, and it gives you could take a look at this for yourself. There's no reason I need to read this to you, but it tells you how to switch. You press the button for 6 seconds. You get 3 LEDs that light up after succession, and that is 25 milliwatts. 5 LEDs light up, that is 200 milliwatts. So the LEDs that are talking about are real small. They're down here at the bottom. And there are these LEDs right down here. These also tell us our band and our channels that we're changing when we press the button. And the one thing about this button that I don't like is if you can see, hopefully let me get my hand behind it, you can see that button actually is not just not flush, but it's a little bit recessed. So it's going to, if you mount this up to your RunCam Mini, and you've got it, say, between a couple of vertical plates, it's going to take kind of a special tool. You can see this one I've got here, which is it's one of the kids' paintbrush, and I just use it. I shaved that down a little bit, and that would work out pretty well. So you'd be able to press and get in there, but otherwise you're looking at having to get a screwdriver or something down in there. I think that, I could be wrong. You tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe if that were to be on top, would that make it better? If it were to be up here, I don't know how they would squeeze that in. We don't have a lot of real estate. I worry about if it's too long and you've got solid side plates that then we couldn't use this. So maybe they've done it right. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. What do you think? Should that button be there? Should there be a way for that button to be on the other side? Maybe that's what's best. If the button were on this side rather than on this side, so they just move, say, these little bits and pieces that are on this side and put it over on the button side and then putting the button back there. But maybe they just can't do that. I don't know. I'm not an electronics engineer. That's a couple thoughts. One thing else I noticed about this is I think this lead is a little excessively long. You know, if we plug it in here, get an idea. I'm not doing a range test or anything on here, but that's probably more than we really need. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's good silicone wire. It's going to squish in real into tight spaces, but yeah, that's quite a bit more than we're actually going to need. Maybe they've given us a little bit more in case you didn't want to use it exactly for a micro run cam. I also think this antenna is a little bit short itself, but it's not terrible. You know, maybe that's perfect because you have a specific mounting case you want to put it inside. Maybe you're putting this inside of a Leader 120 and you don't need a long antenna, but I think sometimes that's something they could do, is include 2 different antenna links in here, and that would make sure that for your installation that this would work out. And it is an IPEX or UFL. It just kind of plops on there. I would encourage you to put something additional over the top that's not permanent to help adhesive this down so it doesn't tear off. I did have, I think it was a TX200 that I didn't know it, but I'd lost the antenna, and I flew around for another minute before I brought it in because I noticed the video was a bit off, even though I had video. And that one's fine today. I can't tell you how long this one will run without the antenna. So it's something to think about. And you probably want to know the weight. Let's take a look at the weight. Full leads and everything, it's 2.3 grams. There you go. I just want to give you a quick rundown, hopefully not take too much of your time. But for those of you that want the 200 milliwatt, or if you want it switchable, 25, 200 milliwatt, and you're looking to mount one on the back of a run cam, it looks like Full Speed. I think they're the only company that's got a 200 milliwatt version out right now. I'll leave a link down below to the Full Speed's website where you can buy this. I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.